once again, YouTube. Long weekend. I'm posting videos like crazy because I got all my chores done and I got an extra day off, and we didn't really have much going on this weekend, so it's great. I'm just doing all the stuff I love, and yeah, it's too bad that 4-day work week isn't actually a thing that's going to happen. Anyways, this next video is, of course, my next Transformers unboxing, and this character was an Autobot vehicle, not one of the first waves, and it wasn't one of the cars. It was a bigger construction-y kind of vehicle, and when the original Autobot cast kind of woke up in the Ark, there were a couple of oh, and I have a sidekick again today too. She's, what you doing? They had a couple of like more mechanical-minded Autobots. One of them being Ratchet, the he was kind of like their medic who would patch guys up when they got hurt and stuff like that. And I did his character a number of videos ago. The other one was Wheeljack, who is probably my favorite Transformers character, arguably. And he was more not kind of a mechanic on the Autobots. He was more of like an inventor, a scientist. He would create devices and such. And this character was kind of the second wave of Autobot vehicles that came after that, and he fell into that same category. And without further ado, the character in question is the Autobot Grapple. As you can see, he's a construction crane, and he, like I said, he was his main area of focus. He was a really smart robot who created devices for the Autobots, and it helped on that technical, scientific development kind of aspect of their team. His main weakness is that he was very sensitive, I guess, about his creations and stuff like that, and he was always worried about how they would be received, if they would be a welcome addition to the team, if people would appreciate his efforts and not judge him on it. And so here is a clip that kind of displays Grapple's his skills and also his sensitivity to how his devices are received.
One more connection hoist, and my solar tower model will be finished. Here comes the sun. Amazing, Grapple. A magnificent scientific accomplishment. But will Optimus Prime like it? I'm sure he'll be impressed. Well, if he's not impressed, I'll be depressed. Don't worry about it. Now, come on. I'll help you present it. A-OK, Grapple, with a capital A. Try to keep me from taking the ball. All right, Spike. Am I drooling correctly? The word is dribbling, Optimus. Look at this. Here, Spike. Compute quickly. Wow. Did you guys make that slick doohickey? And just what does your doohickey do? Nothing really. It's just a model of a solar power tower. Don't be so modest, Grapple. The real tower will create gigawatts of energy, and it'll also... Cool it, Hoist. Prime, we want to construct a full-size tower. The energy benefits would be enormous. I agree completely. But how do you intend to protect it from the Decepticons? Perhaps you didn't consider that. No, Optimus. I'm afraid I didn't. Then I must regretfully withhold approval of the tower. If it ever fell into Megatron's hands.
Yeah, so there you get a sense of kind of his sensitive nature of Grapple's personality. Now, there were a lot of kind of crazy, weird molds for the original G1 Transformers toys. Like, remember the Ironhide and the Ratchet toys? It was like, what is this, a robot? Or is this just kind of a van that's standing on its ass end and pretending it's a robot, right? And then there were some that were kind of in between, and then there were some molds that were really cool and they looked really good. Grapple's G1 toy, maybe because it was a later wave, I thought it was one of the more well done ones. I thought it really displayed him perfectly in vehicle mode, and then the transformation into robot mode was a little more accurate as well. It was a really well done toy. Now this, of course, looks like it's going to be the ultimate in grapple toys, but here's a look at the G1 toy so you can kind of get a sense of what his original toy looked like. So yeah, I think that was a really good likeness of him for back in the 80s when they were still, the toys weren't quite as advanced as they are now. So, but without further ado, let's get into this thing, see what he looks like, and then get him transformed. All right, grapple, here we go. This is one of the toys too that I really liked as a kid. And again, one of the ones that I was never able to find and get. So this is just another one that I'm so excited to see. And of course the box is a little bit bigger compared to a lot of the other characters I've done before, so he's, I'm assuming, going to be a little bit bigger in scale. Oh god, yes. Look at the size of that behemoth. So, as per the usual, instructions. Oh, it looks like blueprints to kind of go as one of his little accessories. Oh no, I got stuck on the tape. Damn it. Okay. And then of course the card with the artwork. Love that stuff. And then look at all these accessories that come with it. Okay, whoa, something flew out of there. Ah, one of his alternate faces. Uh-oh. Nah, I'll get it later. So, one alternate face just fell off the edge of the table. That looks like, yeah, also part of his head. Not sure what that's going to be for, but he's got 3 alternate faces. Another head piece thing. So we've got that. And then we've got some sort of tool, looks like a screwdriver or something. The little blast cone, whatever it is, that goes on one of his fists. I don't think it's a weapon, I think it's more of a building tool. This here is his Wapunda, some sort of a blaster. And then these are for obviously his crane mode. He's got some sort of a grapple, and then a scoop as well. And then he's got a front end here that looks a little different. I'm not sure what that's all about. There's the one in the chrome, so I'm not sure if that goes on once he's in robot mode or something. But and then of course the last thing is, you'll recognize this from the video. This is his solar tower invention that he was building, that he showed Optimus Prime there. So what are the odds? And then, oh my god, look at the size of this thing. This thing is massive compared to those other ones. So that's little things come out. So right there, that's a pretty good likeness of grapple in vehicle mode. Everything looks like it's usable to some degree anyways, but I'm not in it for the vehicle mode, as you all know. I'm in it for the robot mode. So let's switch over to time-lapse video and see what this guy looks like once he is in bot mode. So there you have it. There is Grapple, and he is glorious. I must say, this is a pretty awesome toy. There were some in the back region here, like you can see this is supposed to, I think, clamp onto something and And see how all the crane assembly back here, which makes up his back, it's all a little bit loose. It said all this should lock in together from what I can tell, but it doesn't really seem to want to do that. It doesn't compromise the nature of the transformation or anything. Like, it's not like it's loose and it's falling out or anything. So it's fine. And then there were some other things with the arms too that kind of pop out of their sockets a little bit, but again, it's not like they're falling out. So it's got a few little problems to it, but not any worth, crying over or anything like that, right? So it's still, it holds together well. It looks fantastic, and considering it's probably, one of the biggest ones I've done yet, the transformation process actually I found was one of the easier ones so far, which was nice because some of them have been real doozies. But he looks to be of the same size. Most of the ones I've done so far have been like kind of that a little bit shorter, like the cars have been more like right there on this guy, and then Bumblebee of course was down here a bit. But he looks more to be along the same scale as Ironhide and Ratchet, the two vans that I've done so far. So he looks to be about the same size as them. So one of the few bigger ones I have so far. So yeah, so it looks amazing. I love everything about this. And the one next week is very closely linked to Grapple. So I'm going to leave you with a bit more suspense this week. If you know Transformers and you're familiar with the G1 cartoon and all the characters, you're probably like, oh, I know who you're doing next week, stupid. Like, this is no mystery at all. But for those of you who don't and are new to Transformers or don't really know them that well, you may not know who I'm talking about, but he's very, very similar to this guy and very closely linked to him. So until next week, I bid you adieu with my current Transformer, Grapple. I love it. I love the wheels too. They look so cool. They look so old school truck, like 1970s, 80s truck style. I love it. And yeah, until then, have a great rest of the long weekend, and we'll see you, we'll see you before next week. But in terms of Transformers, we'll see you next week. So long.